Lovely. Hey legends, this is I Am Manifestation. I'm your conscious manifestation coach, Cerise, and I help you get out of your own way so you can manifest your version of an awesome fucking life. Anything you need to know, including my coaching products and services. I do video call coaching as well as email coaching at the moment, plus freebies, free resources, a bunch of other cool products, subliminals. That's all in the description box below, as well as a bunch of other things. I do a lot. So today I really wanted to talk about what manifests. Is it your thoughts or is it your feelings? Let's clear this shit up right now. So I've had a lot of other coaches. I don't say that because I'm like necessarily saying that they're not teaching things properly or whatever. Some people call themselves guides, mentors, coaches. So that's why I said that. But I have a lot of people who more specifically teach law of attraction concept, conscious manifestation, kind of debate me a little bit on like my TikTok videos and things like that, where I emphasize that it's your thoughts that manifest. So I wanted to go into some of the things that they bring up, like it's your nervous system that manifests. No. And also delve a little bit deeper into what I mean by it's your thoughts, because people also freak out a lot about like having one thought that kind of opposes what they want and that's going to manifest. So here we go. So it is your thoughts that manifest. Pretty much everything is a manifestation of your thoughts. When I say thoughts, I'm not just talking about the conscious thoughts, the thoughts that you're aware of moment to moment. Most of your thinking is on the autopilot of your subconscious, and that is programmed by anything you see, hear, think, and say enough times that your mind takes them as fact. So that's all processed through your mind. That counts as thoughts. So that's why we have, the beliefs that we have today from our upbringing, as well as the experiences we've had, but also the experiences we've observed other people go through, which is the case with people who see their parents, for example, go through not the best relationships as well. Some of this can also be transferred genetically intergenerational trauma can be passed down. There have been studies done on animals. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily okay with that, but there was proof that generations after a traumatic event reacted the same way to things that were linked to that traumatic event. I've talked more about that on my podcast. The Science of Manifestation episode is where I cover that, but I will most likely do a video on that down the track. I don't want to go into that now, but that is all still controlled by what's going on up here, or programmed up here, whether it's programmed in your lifetime or epigenetically from previous generations. So the thought essentially is the seed, and the feelings, emotions, state, vibration, frequency, a lot of the things that are talked about within law of attraction. I teach law of assumption here, modern interpretation of the law of assumption for those who are new. So law of attraction talks a lot about feelings and vibrations and frequencies. States is kind of the way that Neville Goddard, who is the person who coined the term law of assumption. That's kind of how he talks about a lot of things, but he's just teaching an ancient knowledge, and that's his interpretation. And then I'm sharing with you my interpretation from my experience of putting this whole thing into practice and kind of stripping away what I feel is superfluous and unnecessary. So what I want you all to just think about is the fact that the thoughts are the seed. But your subconscious programming is also the seed that, if you think about like the seed gets planted, the fruit then flourishes or whatever, and then the fruit is eaten by animals, and then this seeds from the fruit are spread again. That's kind of your subconscious. Your conscious thoughts are just like a seed that's initially being planted. So in order to reprogram your subconscious, the things that you see, hear, think, and say enough times, you need to override the old programming with new programming. And that's why affirmations are so powerful, because you're choosing thoughts on purpose that are specifically in line with the things that you want. And you are thinking those repetitively, because anything you see, hear, think, and say enough times is what programs your mind repetitively to say them enough times that eventually it overrides the old programming. So the thing with that is essentially every thought is an affirmation. So you want to be making sure that outside of your set affirmation time that you do morning and night, or whenever you choose to do it, you are making sure that your thoughts in general, not just about the things that you specifically want and are consciously manifesting right now, are in line with how you want to be experiencing your world in general as much as possible. And the reason for this is, particularly if you're new to the law of assumption and the fact that it is your thoughts that you need to be focusing in on, is that you're going to build the habit of thinking in line with the things you want faster if you're doing that in as many areas as possible. Don't panic about missing it, like things here and there. Don't worry about covering every single aspect of your life. It's just about helping you practice that awareness of where your thoughts are at moment to moment. Now, your feelings, as well as the things that you're experiencing in your physical world, are feedback of where your thoughts are at. So when you feel something that doesn't feel very good, that's your body telling you where your thoughts are at. You also feel good when your thoughts are in a good place, right? Or if your subconscious programming regarding whatever you're like seeing or whatever is in line with things that you would be happy to continue experiencing. So when you feel anxious, angry, frustrated, grief, or any type of emotion that to us doesn't feel good, that's your body telling you this is what that thought or subconscious programming feels like. Is that what you want to keep experiencing? If not, then you need to change your thoughts about that. I hope that makes sense. I haven't made any notes, so I'm just kind of like going, sorry if you can hear my oven as well. The only way I was going to do this video today was if I did it whilst my pumpkin was roasting. Don't think too much about the feelings, states, vibrations, frequencies, and like, am I there? Am I there? Am I feeling this? Don't do that, because if you're asking yourself those questions, then you're projecting out that you don't have the thing you want, that you don't feel that way, because otherwise you wouldn't need to check in, like where you're at. For those who are familiar with Neville Goddard's teachings, he talks about the Sabbath, which is really just describing a feeling of feeling like a feeling of like cool, calm, collected, neutral. So it's good to feel good. It's good to feel neutral. And when you're feeling those feelings, I don't like saying negative, but those feelings that are not in line with how you want to be feeling, then that is for you to go, okay, so that's something I need to work on. In terms of the nervous system as well, that is run from the autopilot of your subconscious as well. So for the guide, the manifestation guide, again, I'm just doing that because they're all just mental coach guide, are all just different names for the same thing. They teach that it's your nervous system that manifests. But the reason your nervous system reacts the way it does is because you're either thinking something, again, like, you know, I talked about how I would get anxious if I was thinking of an opposing thought that I let spiral, or my heart like beating and things like that. That's because of your programming. So back to the idea of the mouse, I may as well just tell you, the Science of Manifestation episode covers more than this one thing. But essentially, I have to try and remember this, so it may not be 100% correct, but it'll give you the idea. What they did was they, around the scent of cherry blossoms, would shock mice so that the mice associated like being shocked with the smell of cherry blossoms. And then they had their offspring and they would expose the offspring to the scent of cherry blossoms. And the mice would react the same way as if they were like scared of getting an electric shock. It like created something in their nervous system, alarm bells ringing, like if you don't want to get shocked for survival's sake, because that's what pretty much everything our mind is doing, is trying to help us survive and keep us safe. That's what's going on. So even if it's something that your ancestors experienced, that might be something that you sort of feel around a situation that they were in, triggered by a scent or a visual of some sort of color. It could be anything. But the good thing about that, the positive thing about that, is that you can reprogram that. You don't have to, you hear a lot in kind of this spiritual world about breaking the karmic cycle. And what that refers to, as someone who used to consider myself to be quite the hippie, and now that I understand conscious manifestation from kind of more neuroscience perspective, I'm connecting the dots to a lot of things that are spoken about in the spiritual world that can be explained by all of this sort of thing. So generational like karma and things like that can be reprogrammed, and they talk about like breaking the cycle. Well, breaking the cycle essentially means not just continuing to let yourself run off that autopilot that's been passed down to you, or that you experienced as a child, or observed as a child, or experienced yourself like a bit later than that. Like for a lot of people, heartbreak or money, unfavorable money situations and things like that. You can tell your mind a new story. And if you tell your mind a new story enough times, you will feel calmer around the things that used to bring up that unsettling feeling. And then the positive thing about that is you pass that work on genetically to your family as well when you have your own children. And that is what essentially breaking the karmic cycle is all about. I also have an episode on karma and what karma really is. And it's maybe not what you think in terms of like do good, do bad, get bad. That's not what I believe it is or how it works. So definitely go check that out. It's all linked below. But that's essentially it. I feel like I've explained everything that I wanted to explain. Oh, I think I went off on a bit of a tangent. So in terms of like the anxiety, right? If I think about the times that I used to get the things that used to set me off, really little things like today, for example, for those who don't know, I still work a part-time job for someone else at this point in time. And then I do my coaching on the other days. And I, for the first time ever, booked a flight on the wrong dates. Why we have 2 months that start with the letter M, I don't know. No, it was totally my fault. I thought to myself I should double check, and then I was like, no, I know it, and I booked it in. And I was like really upset with myself. And this is the kind of thing that used to make me lose sleep. This is the kind of thing that would be like on my mind. I would be spiraling on for weeks. My boss was totally fine with it. He was like, it's like $80 to fix it. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. But I initially was like, fuck. Like I've never done this before. Hold on 1 second. And I even said to him, like, no, you don't understand. I'm going to lose sleep over this. And then I was like, no, why am I doing that to myself? I don't have to feel that. And I was just like, he doesn't even care. He literally doesn't even care. And I've seen that he doesn't even care. But even if you were in a similar situation and you like didn't have that physical world evidence that they weren't bothered, you just tell yourself they're not bothered. And like my nervous system is completely calm about the situation now. I have no doubt that I'm going to get sleep and everything. The thing that used to make it last for so long was that I would spiral on it, and I would keep thinking about it, and I would think they're really disappointed in me, blah, 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 blah. So if you, again, are new to this, if you've been doing this a while and you can sort of confirm what I'm saying in your own experience, let me know in the comments below so that other people can see that when they read the comments. Please, I'd appreciate that so much. If you're new to this, give that a go. When an opposing thought comes up that makes you feel something that you don't like feeling, say the opposite to that thought. You don't have to have a specific affirmation for it. You most likely will if you are manifesting something consciously, like choosing something on purpose. But if it's anything, You might be walking down the street and it might be something. It could be an example similar to mine at work. I also used to have a thing where I would like say something and it might have come out in a way that I didn't intend. And I'd be thinking, fuck, did I offend that person? Oh my God, they must be really annoyed. I bet I offended them. And I would spiral on that for weeks. So if it's something like that, they're not even thinking about it. They didn't even take it that way. They totally got what I meant, blah, 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 blah. And let me know in the comments below if you feel like that helps that anxiety or opposing emotion of whatever kind dissipate at least faster, or like, nips it in the bud, stops it in its tracks completely. So with the thoughts as well, I just want to add before I wrap up the video, I did say that anything you see, hear, think, and say enough times is programming your mind. So particularly when you're new to the law of assumption concept of conscious manifestation, you really want to be making sure you're not listening to music or any kind of content that brings up those emotions. Like it could be a positive song, but it could remind you of a heartbreak. Or you could be watching a TV show that is about something like people going broke and things like that, and you might be consciously manifesting money. While you're changing your old story that hasn't gotten you the things that you want this far, be more diligent with those sorts of things for a while until you start finding that you're not as affected by those things. And then you can go day by day. I go day by day. For the most part, I listen to my high vibes / manifestation Spotify playlist that's linked down below if you're interested. But there are some days where I'm like, I just want to listen to something from the fucking 90s, like my 90s R&B and all that sort of thing. And I will, if I know that I'm in the mood that it won't throw me back into any negative spirals. Or I'll watch true crime only when I'm in a really good place, and then I make sure that I put a comedy on after that. And also with that, if you decide to follow the playlist that I've created, you can actually hide, because like some songs that I find completely fine might be triggering to you. So you can actually, on Spotify at least, I don't know about anything else, but on Spotify, you can, where you would normally add a song to a playlist, like the 3 dots or whatever, you can go to that and then you can choose to hide those songs. So you can still listen to my whole playlist, but hide the songs that pop up that bring up those triggering feelings. And those songs will never play whenever you listen to that playlist. In case nobody knew that, that's just, I don't know. Most people are going to be like, yeah, we know, Cerise. But I thought I'd let you know anyway. So that really covers everything I wanted to talk about today. I probably talked about a few more things than I intended, but it all kind of links. So if you have any questions, let me know. I've said so like a million fucking times. And that is my cue to wrap up, because it is 8 o'clock and I've just come home from work and grocery shopping. So I'm a bit knackered. No, I'm ready to chill for the day. That's better. So thank you for being here. You're a fucking legend. Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever forget it, okay? And until next time, have a good one.